The anger at the heart of one of South Africa's biggest strikes.
We'd like the government to give us 8.6% so that life can be better for us. Because the problems that we are experiencing at the present moment are very serious, and it's going to affect the public at large.
You know what? Some of us, we are not qualifying for the RDP houses. Some of us as a public servants, we are not qualifying for a bond. So we need at least 1,000 rand for the housing allowance. For the salary, we need at least 8.6%. But now the government rejected it. That's why we are trying to demand.
A handful of the thousands who have taken to the streets in South Africa's massive public sector strike.
I think this is quite a hard one to bridge, because you're quite right. Normally, pay movements move in very small increments, so a movement from 6% to 6.8% is quite doable, maybe even splitting a difference between 6 and 7. But the difference between 6.5 and 8.5 or 8.6 is very, very big. And, you know, in many respects, this is going to be something of a who blinks first.
It all adds up to an action that threatens a total shutdown.
The workers demand an 8.6% pay rise, but government is only offering 6.5%. Another round of talks between unions and officials is expected.
These talks are needed as the latest offer did not go down well on the streets.
We're not happy. The members are very, very angry, and they are very hungry. And they are very disappointed. To call all the people together to announce a 10 rand increase in the housing allowance, that is really not acceptable to the PSA. We are not happy with this offer.
But the question is, in these difficult times of budget deficits, can the government afford these above-inflation pay increases?
It can't. The figures that we rely on, are the ones that we produce in our analysis, show an ever-widening gap between the public sector and the private sector. And the real difficulty right now is that the public sector are funding these unsustainable increases out of funds that ought to be deployed elsewhere, and that is affecting expectations of people in the private sector.
With other unions threatening to join the nationwide strike, the South African economy had better be ready.
A huge effect at almost 3 levels, both immediate, medium-term and long-term. Immediately, obviously all of the public sector services which are affected directly will either cease or slow down. So we're looking at import-export permits, the movement of goods, the licensing of any sort, from revenue stamps through to trading licenses. We are looking at customs and immigration. We're looking at identity cards, home office, passports. It has a huge, huge, huge potential.
This week, more talks are scheduled. The pressure is on for a government that says it can't afford an 8.6% pay settlement. It must find the money quickly before an estimated 1 million workers join in.